Those series of chapter run webinars and workshops, which some of you have already experienced yesterday and this morning, we will be showcasing how each culture can bring its uniqueness to coaching awareness by following different techniques enhancing our core competencies of ICF. Now, it's very important for me to mention that you will be earning the CCUs at the end of the session, provided you are there throughout, and you'll be earning 0.25, RDs 0.50. So these will be there for you following the session, and we'll be also sharing the form with you, which in the chat box, which we request you to fill in. Three more things, important ones. We'll be also sharing the schedule with you for following day today and for tomorrow and day after the culmination. So if you haven't registered for other events of the other chapters, please do so. Also, we are running a Cherish Champion campaign, which some of us have already participated by sharing our determination that what is it that each one of us want to do to make this word inclusive and sustainable. So you also have an opportunity to do that and put up as a poster, put it on your social media, and use it as an opportunity and be part of the festival. Third thing, which is very important but not the least, research is going on talking about how cross-cultural coaching can benefit each one of us. What are the details? What are the facts? What are the data points? So each one of you should participate, and we'll be also sharing that link with you in the chat box. Let's make it a very, very interactive, immersive session. Chat box is open. Please feel free to give your feedback, ask questions, and interact in the best way possible. Now, without much ado, I would like to invite Mr. Radhakant Jaiswal, President ICF Delhi NCR chapter, to address all of us. Mr. Jaiswal, who's the Managing Director at Akshay Minds Private Limited, is a company specializing in coaching, learning, development, and recruitment. So over to you, Mr. Jaiswal.
Namaste to everybody, and it is really privileged to be present with you all. And since yesterday, it is really very remarkable sessions we are having. What an amazing journey I'm on, as you all also are having. Since we started this event journey of the Global Cherish Festival, we all were aware that it is going to be very fabulous, but it is turning out more fantastic than we have thought of. Just to share with you, this year, officially, our chapter is going to be a 10-year-old during the June 2025 on 12th June on 2025. Although some work started in the chapter somewhere around September 12th, 2009, and we have, just to share with you, we have over 250 plus members, direct and indirect members, and they are associated with us, and they are giving their wisdom to this chapter. Regarding the DEIB, I just would like to mention here that how the coaching is converging with so many diversity. Since yesterday, if I am seeing that Sri Lanka started with heritage, and then the culture thing has been introduced by the Oman, then the nature by the Chennai, and then listening by the Chennai chapter, and the Bangalore have basically given the something on listening, and Israel today mesmerized with the magical thing. So many, and today you are going to have just now that coaching root from the crown, okay? And as we say, the equity part, in our chapter, everyone in this treated felt equally, be it gender, be it economy bias, whatever. So everybody is equal, and you can start, experiencing the same, all the chapter members, that what we are bringing to all the members. if I say the belongingness of this fraternity, it is we have about 16 board member, and each one of us so beautifully are curating their programs, and they are delivering to our members that we are together standing for the cause of our coaching and the vision and the mission of overall ICF, as we are celebrating 30 years, and we would be celebrating our 10th year today morning. Chennai shared that they have already completed 10 years. So Bangalore, Delhi, and Chennai, they would be completing 10 year together with a 30 year of ICF. So I will. My favorite is I would quote my one verses of Gita. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmade Gavi Hastani Shuni Chav Spake Cha Pandita Samdarshana. What is the relevance to this DIB here? Which I would like to share with you, that this verses reinforce equity by urging us to see beyond social status, appearance, or background, whatever background we are coming to. And it teaches us a fairness and equal respect for all, a key principle in workspace diversity and inclusion. Yeah, we are basically having the stigma that leaving no one behind. And today, one powerful statement coined by the Rajesh, taking along everyone. It is very powerful, very, very powerful. And each session are so empowering to me. I'm basically attending almost all. And gratitude to Kavita, Sangeeta, Bhavna for making this happen. Kudos to three of you and all the Cherish champion. Over to you, Srimaji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jaiswal. Very motivating and great to know that we are also competing 10 years. I'm sure we have a long, long, long way to go. Thank you once again. Now let's move forward and invite Mr. Amit Kumar, the Vice President, ICF Delhi NCR Charter Chapter. Mr. Kumar, with around 4 decades of experience of working majorly with oil and natural gas corporation, is now working as management coach. So, Mr. Kumar, over to you.
Thank you, Siva. Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. It's indeed a privilege and pleasure to speak in front of all of you, particularly when we are celebrating 30 years of ICF. As is known, we have been celebrating 30 years of ICF by holding quite a number of events. Starting on 18th of January, 1st of February, then we had that Raga, the Coach Fest. And then we are following it up with the Global Cherish Coaching Festival. And as Mr. Radhakant Jaiswal has said, yes, kudos goes to Sangeeta, Bhavna, and Kavita for bringing the two chapters together for celebrating this 30 years of ICF. And I'd say indeed it's a pleasure that total 12 chapters from 9 countries have come together to celebrate the Cherish, which is an acronym for Coach, Harmony, Ethics, Repeatable, Inclusive, Sustainable, and Humane. So it is such a beautiful word that apart from cherishing something or cherishing what we have been doing, the acronym itself makes it such a beautiful thought and beautiful perception that really it certainly will always remain with, I'm sure, all of us, at least with me, positively. So today we are having a session on Route to Crown coaching and the yogic principles behind that. So I'll take some time to tell you about what that Route to Crown and yogic experiences are. So let me first tell you about quantum physics. Now, quantum physics states that quantum particles influence each other irrespective of the distance they are, and without being even connected. Same goes with coaches. When they are coaching, their mere presence gives some sort of energy to the coachee, that the coachee is, in fact, I would say, encouraged to come out with her inner desires. So that is something I just wanted to correlate with quantum physics. But then, since the session today is regarding that yogic experience route to crown coaching, so I'll just touch a little bit about yoga. So yoga is what? Yoga is, in simple terms, it's a union of body and soul, mind and soul, where soul reflects the Supreme Self, and the mind is, of course, denotes the body, individual. So yoga is very old. It has been mentioned in the Rig Veda, in the Hindu philosophy, between 1000 to 900 BCE. Then in Katha Upanishad, in early BCE, it has been mentioned. And also Bhagavad Gita in the 2nd century BCE, where Lord Krishna is coaching Arjun, because he is perhaps the oldest coach that we know of. Then Patanjali came, who gave the coach sutras. So allow me to read about what the coach sutras are there. I'm just giving the headings as it is, but I'll be explaining what do they mean. So there are basically 8 coach sutras. So the first one is Yama. That includes ahimsa, that is non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing, means honest, celibacy, and non-avarice, non-possessiveness. I'm sorry. The second is one niyam. This is denoting of purity, contentedness, persistence, or austerity, study of self or self-reflection, and contemplation of God or true self. The next one is asana. The asana is the pose on which someone is supposed to sit before practicing yoga. Then pranayam. Pranayam is the breathing exercise, where that exercise is carried out through the rhythmic movement of breath, that is inhale, exhale, and also sometimes hold it. Then there is pratyahara, that is the 5th one. This is withdrawal of the sense organs from external influence and objects. Then dharana. Dharana means concentration. Then dhyan. Dhyan, we all know it is meditation, where we try to keep our mind calm and connect with the Supreme Self. And finally, samadhi. This is the stage when it is said that the person has got liberated, and the person is able to have conversation with the Supreme Self. Then this is very brief about the yoga and the Patanjali Sutra. Then we are coming to the main topic of the route to crown. So there are 7 chakras in the body, starting from the lower end of the spine and going up to the top of the head. So I do not need to dwell upon it, because this will be dealt with extensively in the presentation, in the discussion that we are going to have. At this moment, I would like to invite Shweta Anda Gupta for taking it further. But before that, let me tell in brief about what Shweta Gupta is. So Shweta Anda Gupta is MCC, FIOD. She is recognized as India's #1 and among the top global coaches for CEOs, boards, and leadership teams. She currently coaches business leaders and promoters from top Indian business houses and Fortune 500 companies worldwide. She is a fellow of the Institute of Directors India. She serves as advisor, coach, and member on boards, enhancing strategic foresight, leadership effectiveness, and enabling transformative success with measurable financial results. She serves as the chairperson of the ICF Global Enterprise Board, which provides strategic leadership and direction to the ICF Global Leadership Team and Six Family Organization. Here, I must mention that Shweta Handa Gupta is our very own. She is a member of our own charter chapter. And so it's a matter of great honor for all of us. Now, Shweta is co-founder of Quadra Brain Transformation Solutions, which specializes in making complex change simple, leveraging her expertise and published research in business psychology and applied neuroscience. Her experience includes leadership roles at IBM and as CEO of an Indian business group. She is a published author and columnist for leading business dailies. She has won prestigious accolades, including CEO Coach of the Year and ICF Global Young Leader Honor. So, Shweta, over to you.
Thank you, Amitji, for that very kind introduction and for that very wise opening. I've learned so much already. Seema, thank you. Radhakanchi, there's so much wisdom. In fact, I regret that I haven't been able to attend the other parts of this festival yet. I'm looking forward to the recording, hopefully, because I was traveling. And right now, I feel like a barrier between the knowledge of the chakras that is going to follow after my speech. So sorry to the audience for keeping you from further wisdom that's coming your way. I am simply here to talk to you briefly about coaching as a catalyst, as an enabler, and a steward for ethical and inclusive leadership. But before I start with that, my extreme gratitude on being here, my compliments to having put together this global Cherish Coaching Festival. It is so representative of everything that we stand for. Because, hey, ICF is just this. It is all of our chapters, all of our member coaches, all of our stakeholders. You're who makes us who we are. And I think the coaching community, one of the most largest group of well-intentioned people all over the world who are part of this noble profession, just taking the world forward. It's such an honor to be here, to cherish this profession, to cherish all of the coaches worldwide. So thank you for having me here. And let me now begin. Let's talk about change, since the world is transforming, isn't it? Did you hear about the leader who went on a 2-week holiday only to return and find that the entire operating system and enterprise software in their organization had been changed, and they needed a half-day training just to check their email? Yep, you heard about that guy? Or have you heard about the team that spent months debating the right way to innovate, only to be blindsided by a competitor who implemented the very idea they had rejected 2 weeks ago because they believed their customers couldn't handle such drastic change? And then, of course, there is this third leader whom I'm pretty sure a lot of you know. This is the leader who spent years dismissing opposing views until they realized that their company was failing because their team was too afraid to tell them the truth. Yep, I see some nodding heads. I think I can only see very few of you right now. But from the nodding heads, I guess this is a leader that a lot of you have met. The ones who dismisses opposing views and then they realize, oops, I don't know the reality of what's happening. Now, what do these 3 stories have in common? Any thoughts? Now, for me, what they have in common is change. Relentless, unpredictable, and often unforgiving change. Right? And Himani there says resistance. I don't know if it's resistance, just change, because the real challenge, thank you for that, Himani. The real challenge I feel today is not just moving fast. We're living in a world that's addicted to speed, but it's not just moving fast that is the challenge. It is moving in the right direction. And that's where I think we as thinking partners play an important role. We're in a world that requires more than just agility in execution. It requires agility in our thinking. It requires curiosity. It requires acceptance. It requires expanded awareness. It requires exploration. Any of those words sound familiar to the coaching team here? It requires the very values that we cultivate as coaches, the very competencies that we cultivate as coaches. More than anything, the world today requires ethical, inclusive leadership. And I tend to use both these words together. I'll tell you why. Because what is ethics really? At a definition level, ethics is the study of right and wrong. Because all of us make right and wrong choices every single day, don't we? The real danger, I feel, starts when we start confusing right and wrong with our perceptions of superior and inferior. I'm going to let that sit with you for a moment. When we start believing that there is only one right way, and that is our way, I think that is responsible for most of the problems we face in the world today. The real danger starts when we confuse. I'm going to repeat this, one of my favorite lines. For those of you who follow me on social media, you most probably heard of me saying this before. The danger starts when we confuse right and wrong with our perception of superior and inferior. And that is why, for me, ethics and inclusion go hand in hand. Because a rigid belief in the superiority of our views can be dismissive of others. It is the greatest barrier to inclusion in the world, and it is the greatest barrier to meaningful leadership. The belief that our view is superior in any way. When we dismiss thinking that is different from our own, we don't just limit our perspective. I truly believe we limit our future when we do that. Like the leaders of that company we just spoke about, which failed because no one dared to challenge the leaders. Like the team that missed its opportunity, they weren't wrong. The team wasn't wrong. They were actually working very hard at their innovation. They weren't wrong, but they were limited. They were limited by their own assumptions. They were limited by the assumptions of what they thought customers would accept. And while I talk of a specific case, I'm sure you're thinking of some popular cases in the market that you're aware of. And I'm just going to show you my phone to remind you of some interesting companies that have done this, that have become limited by their assumptions of what their customers will accept, while their competitors blindsided them with ideas they had rejected. The examples are all around us. And the same happens in leadership, in organizational leadership, in social leadership, in political leadership. When we don't create space for diverse voices, when we don't lead with ethics and inclusion, we risk missing the very shifts that will take us into the future, that will shape the future. And here's the real challenge. The real risk is in the uncertainty that change creates. Because this uncertainty amplifies the risk. This uncertainty makes people uncomfortable. And in these times of change and uncertainty, in these days of polarization, the world doesn't just need direction, it needs trust. It needs leaders it can trust. It needs leaders whose decisions serve more than the bottom line or the loudest voices in the room. And I'm often one of them. So In a world that is shifting so rapidly, the ability to engage diverse perspectives isn't just valuable. We all know it's valuable, right? We're coaches. It is essential because the ability to embrace diverse perspectives, the ability to engage diverse perspectives is the anchor that guides us. And I've learned this through my years of leadership, is that future-focused thinking and openness to diverse perspectives is what paves the way for lasting collaborative leadership. And if the next line isn't obvious to this room full of coaches already, that is why coaching now is more critical than it has ever been. In this highly transformative, very polarized world where we are failing sometimes to embrace diverse perspectives, coaching is more important than ever. Because coaching isn't just about helping the leaders or helping society or helping people navigate change. It's about shaping the kind of leadership that ensures that the change moves us forward, not just fast, but forward in the right direction. And that is why all of the ICF chapters, the global coaching community, I feel we're not just adapting to this shift, we're shaping it. Now, let me tell you a story. I met a coach the other day who had coached a teacher in a small village. That gave this teacher, this is a real story, right? The confidence to start something small, which has grown huge today. That was just the impact of one coach who decided to coach one teacher. I know so many coaches. I know another coach who helped a leader make the right choice about where to open his factory, keeping in mind the impact on the environment. That was another ripple. I know a third coach who helped a mother survive a very tough period in her life. That was another ripple. Every coach I meet is creating ripples. And that's why I call it a noble profession. Let me share the story of a person called the Forest Man of India with you. Have some of you heard of the Forest Man? This is a person who single-handedly, since 1979, this is a person who single-handedly planted trees on barren land. You can actually Google Forest Man of India, transforming barren land into 1,400 acres of forest. Lush forest that has improved the biodiversity, that attracts a lot of diverse flora and fauna to that region. Barren land, one single man planting trees. There's another group of youngsters in New Zealand who in 2017 started what they jokingly call the Trump Forest. We're not going into the background of why they called it that. They've planted 1 million, as per the last report I read, and they're still going on. Right? But if we just think of these people, if we think of this person who converted barren land into a 1,400-acre forest, now imagine if hundreds, maybe thousands of people would have done the same around the world. If there were hundreds and thousands of people doing what this person did, what kind of world might we have today? What are some of the problems we're facing? What are some of the problems we are imagining will come up in the future? I've heard the word sustainability used in this room a couple of times. So just imagine if instead of one man or this group of youngsters, if hundreds and thousands of people were doing this, how much change, how much positive change they may have created on earth. And now I invite you to consider that as coaches, every time we expand someone's thinking, Every time we enable self-acceptance, every time we enable curiosity, every time we enable diverse thinking, every time we evoke deeper awareness, we are planting a seed. As coaches, we are all creating forests. We are planting the seeds of empowered leadership. Every conversation, every coaching session is an opportunity to nurture growth. And just like the forest man's trees, these seeds of leadership will grow into something far greater that we as individual coaches could ever imagine. And that's why celebrating this oneness here with you is so beautiful, because it is about the collaboration of thousands of coaches. We're at 50,000 plus members globally, right? Hundreds of chapters who all believe in the potential that resides within every individual. Thousands of coaches who see the greatness in others. Thousands of coaches who have dedicated themselves to a profession that focuses on creating success for others. Thousands of coaches who see our clients as whole, creative, and capable of finding their own solutions. Just allow these words to sink in, and think about the diversity we are embracing, the acceptance, the expanded thought we as coaches are enabling in this world. Thousands of coaches who nurture curiosity, acceptance, self-awareness, and agility of thought every day across the world. Thousands of coaches who are planting forests. This work, this amazing work, it's not about us as individuals. It's about the collective force of thousands planting those seeds of empowered leadership, of ethical, inclusive leadership across the globe. Because together we will create the ripples of positive change. Together, we don't just adapt to change. We shape the future we dream of seeing. And this is my words. I hope some of you will resonate with these. A future that I dream of seeing is human-centered, is inclusive, is ethical. I'm one of those crazy people who's been accused of using the word love too often, including in boardrooms. Not just not-for-profit, but for-profit boardrooms also. I'm that person who talks about the power of love. I truly believe that love is going to change the world. And yeah, I'm going to hold on to that belief for as long as I can, because love replaces hate. But not digressing into that, but this really is the power of coaching. And this is why our role as chapters, as coaches, as part of a global community of individuals dedicated to the greatness, the potential, and the success of others, that is why our role in shaping this future is so vital. And before I pause for questions, I invite you to consider, just take a moment and consider, how will you inspire more acceptance, more curiosity, more acceptance of diversity, more awareness in the world around you? Through your questions, through your coaching mindset, through your presence, through your impact. What is your commitment to inspiring more acceptance and curiosity in the world? Because together, there's this powerful force of thousands of coaches across the world. Together, we're not just adapting to change, we are shaping it. Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to be here and talk to you all about this.
Lots of love to you coming from me to you, Shweta.
Thank you. May I request to be removed from the spotlight so I can see everyone instead of... Thank you so much. If you have any thoughts, any questions at all, please do park it in there. I'd love to hear it in the chat box. There's such lovely thoughts coming. There's something about non-judgment. And Gitanjali has so nicely. Lovely. There's somebody has mentioned they've met the forest man. And we have reached the recording limit for our plan also, I see in the chat box. I just went there. So thank you, Indu. Somebody's asked, how do CEOs and C-suite respond to my message of love? I'd be happy to share that. And if this, what I'm saying, sounds idealistic to any of you, I will be very happy to share 2 practical examples of real CEOs who've used this. And I also see, I'm not sure I know how to pronounce your name, Sietsi has raised his hand. So,
CHC, Shweta, thank you very much. CHC is the name. Coming in from Cape Town, South Africa. Shweta, as you were talking about us contributing to building that or developing that forest, I thought back in the day when I was still doing high school, we were taught in agriculture that when you plant those trees, when you plant whatever you're planting in the soil, in the process, you are assisting to prevent soil erosion. And I'm saying to myself as we were talking about this, that when we as coaches build or develop that forest, we then assisting or supporting that particular client to have their roots firm in the soil. And in the process, we're helping them and supporting them to be firm in the sense that whatever comes underneath that soil that holds them, it does not erode them. We keep them firm and resolute in where they want to go. And with that, we have then contributed in making sure that yes, winds and rain will come, will shake them, but it will not uproot them from where they are and in terms of their being. So then they then become firm in the end. That little contribution that we do contributes to them being firm and grounded. Thank you.
thank you. That is so beautifully said. When we plant, we also strengthen the soil, we strengthen the roots, we strengthen the whole ecosystem, don't we? We strengthen humanity. That is so wonderfully said. And to answer Celia's question too, I haven't missed that one. Celia, they respond very variously to my message of love. But I think what helps also is how I define love is just bringing yourself, your true self to whatever you're doing. So in fact, I've had this moment where somebody said in a boardroom, I've heard the word love being used too often here. We're here to talk about business. So yes, there are those moments. And how I responded to that was saying that I believe when we bring love to the work we do better at it. So as a coach, I bring love to the success of my clients. So love for me is not just romantic love. It's bringing genuine care to the work that we do. In a boardroom, love is about a commitment to the vision or the mission of the organization, to the purpose of the organization. So it's all love. Love is about genuinely caring about the work you do and the difference you make. After I say that, most of them fall in line because nobody wants to disagree with being committed to the vision and the mission. Does that answer what you were asking?
Yes, thank you so much. I completely support what you just said and appreciate your insight.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you so much. Any more question, or shall we go ahead, put it in the chat box, and we'll try to answer because we are mindful of the time as well. So, yeah, thank you very much. Shweta, it's always a pleasure to listen to you and hear you and learn from you, imbibe what you say. So I picked a few points. You said change is only constant. Trust is a glue in such disruption. What is happening? Embracing change and inclusion, diversity, reimagining the better word. I mean, we are the people who can, facilitate doing it. So I agree with you, and I think all of us agree what you said, and we are there to follow it. My mentor, Dr. Daisaku Edka, says, if you're not progressing, you're regressing. Dr. Daisaku Ikeda, he's our mentor. So I follow him as well. And taking a cue from this, let's move on. Inviting a person who's behind this initiative. So this came from one thought, and today we see this as a big festival. Maybe tomorrow it'll become a moment, where everybody is together, cherishing each other. So I would like to invite none other than Ms. Bhavna Nagar, who's the Director Membership with Delhi chapter, and the person who initially conceptualized this entire concept, and later many joined Sangeeta, Gitanjali, Kavita, so on and so forth. So over to you, Bhavna.
Thank you so much, Seema. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be called here. So, Shweta, taking back trailblazing into the future to bring in the shift, right, that we want to see. So I wanted to start because it's a yogic and we are talking about chakra and yoga. I wanted to say namaste from our chapter, right? And this namaste is not just a word. It's bowing to the other person as well as self, right? Equally. So it's about really believing in the potential of the other person. So the word namaste has a deeper meaning. And so when I say that, I am cherishing myself and I'm cherishing the other person equally. So deep gratitude to each one of you who's partnered. So it cannot be taken alone. And we've had lovely partnership from South Africa chapter, from members from our chapter. There are Cherish champions who are working behind the scenes. So we don't know their names, but they are the ones who've kind of brought everything together. And I can't name one because there are many. So to start with, the festival started on the 15th of February with the launch. And we had people from all around the world joining in. So it felt like it was Olympics for coaches. So that was the feeling that I was getting. And we've had number of events where each chapter is as if passing on the baton or as if passing on the Olympic torch to the next by really inviting the next chapter and asking everybody to attend. So we've already experienced so much of unique perspectives about cultures, the pride that we see in each diverse culture, and yet that oneness. So we've had Team Colombo. Let me call them team, please. So ICF Team Colombo, whose session spoke about parameters of excellence and importance of transformational leadership. Then we had ICF Team Oman, where we heard how banking sectors were including coaching as a culture, which was followed by ICF Team Chennai, who brought us closer to nature. So biomimicry in nature as a mentor, as a coach. And then we had Bangalore team, who came in with different aspects of listening through Indic wisdom. And now we are here to raise our energy with our own ICF Delhi NCR team. So further to celebrate, further to explore from all corners of the globe. So this is just the beginning. This event would be the beginning of many more which are coming. So the next that are lined up are Team New Jersey, Kenya, UAE, South Africa, South Florida, and Uganda. And this continues till tomorrow, till the culmination day after, which is in the evening. So please join in and celebrate each chapter. Let them feel special. So they are there to cherish themselves, and let's cherish them just as they are. So the beauty of the festival is about collective emotion. It's about this cross-cultural learning that we are going through towards one purpose, to be united, to become one. So that now as coaches, we have this collective mission to be able to really transform wherever we go in the world. So thank you so much. And let's stay engaged, stay curious, and immerse into incredible experience that we are yet to see. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. Thank you. Really appreciate this. And we are there with you. Rather, we are all there together. Next segment is very critical segment. And I have a pleasure of inviting Ms. Payal Jindal Khanna. She's our guest speaker for today. Ms. Khanna is PCC ICF, Deputy Director and Head of Center for Leadership Coaching, as well as Assistant Professor at Shulini University. She's going to share her experience on how she leveraged the power of coaching to bring about a culture shift at Shulini University. So without much ado, over to you, Ms. Khanna.
Thank you so much, Seema, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, ICF Delhi NCR chapter, ICF South Africa chapter, Bhavna, the speakers I have heard who came before me, Amit sir and Shweta. And everyone, I think, whose effort has gone into putting this beautiful festival together. I'm very happy and fortunate because I share this space with a lot of fellow coaches. Some of them have been a part of the community at Shulini, and some of them I cherish as fellow practitioners who follow Sensei Keda as their mentor. So I think this can't be more a beautiful space for me than this. If you may allow me to share my screen, shall I go ahead?
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, I can. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I celebrate you all. And Shweta, it was beautiful in the way you literally breathed life into the theme of the fest, that is elevate, embrace. And I love the word cherish in the Global Cherish Coaching Festival. And so to creating ripples, to planting seeds, and to accepting diversity. I think that's what I'm going to be talking about as well, and building upon that in the Shulini story, the Shulini coaching story. And I also invite you to please understand that this is not a story set in only for one academic institution, that is Shulini University in Himachal. It is our story. As I said, we have a lot of coaches who are contributing to this program, who I can see on the screen as well right now, plus almost 300 coaches from more than 16 countries who are partnering. So I wouldn't be here sharing the story with all of you if it was not for all of them coming together in collaboration. So thank you so much again. And at this point in time, I invite you to imagine a young research-driven university nestled in the serene hills of a Tier 2 town. It is home to over 3,000 students and more than 1,000 faculty and staff members. This institution, Shulini University, faces a multifaceted challenge typical of an emerging academic center, which is managing rapid growth while fostering self-awareness and driving a shift in mindset. So in this context, structured support mechanisms become indispensable. Let me share a bit more about Shulini. So recognized as India's leading private university and ranked among the top 400 academic institutions globally, Shulini University is committed to equipping students with skills necessary to thrive in today's fast-changing times. Serving a diverse student body who come from a very varied demographic, many from underrepresented communities, the university identified coaching as a powerful tool back in March 2021, the fag end of COVID, to help students navigate academic pressures, financial hurdles, career uncertainties, and personal challenges. So Shulini University, at this point in time, pioneered the introduction of executive coaching within higher education. So as I said, the initiative began in March 2021 with the launch of WE. So V here stands for victory. The acronym WE means We Empower Coaching Program. It was to offer pro bono coaching to provide students with a structured, very accessible and effective means to gain clarity, build resilience, and develop leadership capability. So recognizing the program's impact, the university established the Center for Leadership Coaching that I head today in 2024, further solidifying its commitment to student development. So this is the story of the laying of the foundation for coaching at Shulini. And from the beginning, Shulini has approached the development of its coaching program with very careful planning and strategic alignment to its mission, vision, and core values. See, it is very important when we're talking about enabling cultural shift at any organization and not just Shulini. What are those transformative coaching practices that can bring about that shift? So the core focus for Shulini's coaching intervention was one-on-one executive coaching, which means customized, personalized coaching intervention was provided to 52 students to start with. And at this point in time, we have around 1,200 clients, as we call them, who have been coached at the campus in a span of 4 years. And additionally, leadership coaching played a crucial role in shaping behavioral changes by encouraging new perspectives. So moving forward, so what did this coaching intervention enable? So as Shweta was talking about the ripple effect, right? So what do we see here? We see here that by actively integrating coaching into the university's leadership framework, Shulini created a ripple effect. So there were leaders who worked with professional coaches and are working with professional coaches as we speak today. When I say leaders, this is the executive board. They began to model coaching behaviors. So what happened? These practices were embedded within their leadership styles. Or maybe it's more safe to say that they are getting we are starting to see those impact today. So this influence extended across departments because we have deans and head of the departments who are coming forward, voluntarily saying that we want to be coached. So this has reinforced a culture of continuous learning, self-awareness, and collaborative growth. And notably, the university has extended coaching much beyond its student body. We started with 52 students, went on to 300 students, then 1,000 students, and at this point in time, more than 1,200 clients. So we offer one-on-one coaching intervention to faculty, to non-teaching staff, housekeeping staff, and administrative teams. So this has ensured that coaching is not only a tool for personal development, but a mechanism for enhancing institutional well-being and effectiveness, which has evolved beyond mere awareness building and has become an essential component of the university's ethos. So by embedding coaching in, or at least by trying to embed coaching in everyday interactions and institutional strategy, we are striving with every passing day to lay the groundwork for sustainable coaching. And where did this journey begin? It was in March 2021 with management students who were signed up on a voluntary basis, 52 of them. By 2022, we had expanded to faculty through nominations where management nominated one member from each teaching and non-teaching department. And today we have faculty members coming in, as I said already, voluntarily saying that they would love to work with a coach. By 23, we had a really impressive leadership engagement. Executive board members embraced coaching. In fact, 3 of the founders at the Shulini University campus are now undergoing the level 1 coaching education pathway towards the ACC pathway. So that will set a benchmark because it's like a percolation effect, right? Which trickles down to the employee at the entry level as well. So we have almost 10,000 hours of coaching have been clocked at the campus. And as I said, we are inching towards 300 ICF credentialed coaches who are working with us at any given point in time. So what have been the phases of this coaching integration? So if I largely box them into 3, so phase 1 was the launch, and it was solely around student engagement. So coaching was introduced as a voluntary support system. the larger focus was on self-awareness, goal setting, and career alignment. And since we were working with management students, we were looking at a campus to corporate transition as well. And we had phenomenal results coming in, which made us very ambitious and also very positive in terms of scaling our effort. So by phase 2, we had faculty inclusion, and we were looking at institutional expansion. The faculty were encouraged to adopt coaching methodologies and teaching. I won't say it's happening in every classroom or it's happening in majority of the classrooms, but it has started happening, which is a major shift for us towards student-centered facilitation. By phase 3, there was a complete leadership buy-in, and the organizational impact has become very, very evident. There has been an attempt to integrate coaching into decision-making, team management, and leadership development. And it is ensured that the institutional vision is aligned with the coaching first approach. So, in fact, all of this, what I speak of is these are tangible results that we are collecting. This is data-driven, and we are doing this through a very robust, measurement system. So, building this transformational coaching program, cannot happen without building a very strong foundation where we have skilled and dedicated coaches coming in. And all these coaches who work with us, they are ICF, ACC onwards, so that a certain standard, a standard to the entire project is, set in. So at the core of this initiative is the Center for Leadership Coaching, which is also offering a structured level 1 coaching education program since last December, that is December 2024. And this is particularly designed to develop workplace coaches amongst employees. So we are looking at building an internal pool of coaches, where again, there have been 3 nominations and from very critical departments by the management, and they are completely sponsored. So they are really looking at, integrating coaching into the university's broader vision and strategy. So the program aligns, with all the ICF ethics, and we follow a very robust and rigorous, system of integration. The coaching center team also meets regularly so that we are able to align our practices with the institutional goals. This ongoing dialogue helps maintain coherence between coaching efforts and the university's evolving leadership priorities. So coming onto the slide, looking at measuring impact. Now, the key aspect of SHUDNI's coaching model is the active involvement of deans and senior leadership. See, it can never happen single-handedly. People who are at the helm need to believe in the power of coaching, and that can happen again only when they see the impact of coaching. And having demonstrated that impact over and over again, semester and year after year, we now see deans as champions of the coaching program. So what we do is, very briefly, each client, whether it is faculty, non-teaching faculty, management, student, so as we call them clients, they complete a self-awareness inventory, both before and after their coaching experience. And the resulting data is compiled into semesterly and annual impact reports. So basically what we're trying to analyze here is a recurring theme or pattern that is emerging from coaching sessions, which does top goals that students aim to achieve, which I'll be talking about in the next slide, and key insights that may inform broader university policies or leadership interventions. So these measurable outcomes completely align with the student satisfaction. The effectiveness of the coaching program is reflected in high satisfaction rates in key developmental areas. So some I've put on the slide, some I'm refraining from sharing, some I will share only verbally, because all this data will go into the publishing of a research paper, which continues to be an IPR for SHUDNI University now, right, at this moment at least. So to share some of the data with you, 96% of the students report that they would recommend coaching to their peers. This is a phenomenal shift. Having a young adolescent group, and we work with the age group of 18 to 24 when we talk about students. And definitely there is no timeline, because we also had the chancellor stepping in to say, I want to be coached, and he turns 85 tomorrow. So 91.3% of students express overall satisfaction with the coaching experience, and significant increases have been recorded in awareness of personal values, confidence in setting goals, and interpersonal skills and communication effectiveness. So these have been like really powerful shifts that have come through. So cultural shift cannot be enabled unless we are demonstrating this shift in terms of very measurable outcome. So when we look at the student, when we look at the faculty members, when we look at the leadership, we see quantifiable growth across departments. The impact of coaching is particularly evident in key academic departments, management sciences, because for management students, coaching intervention is a must. It's a part of their academic curriculum, which is again a first for any university in India. And students have demonstrated substantial improvements in goal setting, confidence, and communication skills. These are just a handful of the testimonials and feedback that we have from our more than 1,200 plus clients. And students go and talk about it on LinkedIn. You can always follow Shulini or follow We Empower Coaching or follow my page to see what shifts have been enabled through the power of coaching. I very humbly shared that these efforts, which is a collective effort, as I say, a collective effort of all the 300 coaches, all these stakeholders at the campus. I must give a special mention to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Atul Khosla, who has been the driver of the entire program. Had it not been for his buy-in, I wouldn't be there at the campus today. I still remember the day one when I joined and he said, I need an internal coach, which was unheard of back before COVID times. And I asked him, so what is the vision? He gave me only one thing. He said, I want you to empower my students. And I know coaching can do that. And I think it's the culmination of the efforts of everyone, all the stakeholders. So we received the Times Higher Education Award. It is also known as the Oscars in Education. We stood second in the category of student support. This was in 2022. In 2024, that is last year, ICF Global Coaching Impact Awards, we received an honorable mention in the social impact category. And as I've already shared, we have a pool of 300 plus coaches from more than 15 countries working with us. Now, the most important question. Yes, you can begin something, and I would quote from my practice, and the fellow practitioners can relate to it. It's easy to start, but difficult to continue. So it was, I would say, much easier to initiate, to conceptualize and launch the project, but to sustain the growth, to sustain the shift is where the entire, I think, the fruit lies. So how do we sustain this progress? How do we create a lasting impact of coaching at Shulini? So 4 years into this journey, Shulini's program has catalyzed a tangible cultural shift and evolved into a highly valued and a very robust pillar of its student and employee development strategy. So over time, the effects of these coaching interventions have started to appear. It's a ripple effect across university's culture, fostering an environment of innovation, trust, inclusion, and collaboration. So as I conclude my presentation today, we understand that it is critical that coaching is accessible to everyone. And that's why our model is democratic and all-inclusive. Coaching is accessible to all university stakeholders, from students to even our housekeeping staff. So I must mention 32 of our housekeeping staff, that is a support staff, who do the cleaning duties or the pantry duties, have also accrued the benefits of one-on-one coaching. And we do offer coaching in local languages, thereby increasing the accessibility towards the coaching intervention. So regardless of the role or the level, every individual has the opportunity to engage in one-on-one coaching, and that's how you enable cultural shift. While the total number of participants may still represent a small fraction of the university's overall population, however, the impact we can share with pride is far-reaching and deeply transformative. So as demand for coaching continues to rise at the campus, which gladdens my heart, the program's percolation effect is going to be undeniable. So when Bhavna approached me, I'll share very candidly and honestly, she said it's only been 4 years. Cultural shift might take a lot more time than that. And it's true. However, we are already beginning to see the signs. So even those who may not be directly participating in the coaching sessions are benefiting from the positive cultural shifts at the campus. And we have started to steadily witness a stronger, more inclusive culture, a shift towards greater collaboration, more accountability, a proactive approach to tackling complex challenges. So as the coaching program expands its reach and integrates further into the university's ecosystem, as we hope it will, its long-term impact will only deepen. So on behalf of Shurini, on behalf of the management, I share that Shurini University is not just fostering a coaching culture, it is embedding coaching as one of the fundamental pillars of academic and organizational success, ensuring that every single stakeholder is equipped with the mindset, skills, and resilience needed to navigate the future with confidence. So with that, I close my presentation and I'm open to questions if there is time. I hope I was able to conclude in time.
Absolutely, Payal, you were able to. Definitely. We can take one or two questions, or please feel free to put it in the chat box or raise hand.
One question from one of the participants in the chat box, which is talking about, can you respond on how many people you had managed this coaching project? You work by your own or in a team? Payal, you may feel free to share over here, or you can respond in the chat box as you feel.
Yes, so I don't see the question, but I think I got the question. And if I haven't, please do let me know. So we don't have a team. Largely, I work with student interns, and they also are on a rolling basis because many students want to work with the Center for Leadership Coaching. And it is exhausting, but I also love the fact that they are wanting to gain the experience, interact with coaches. So largely every semester we will have 3 to 4 interns, and then we will have fresh interns the next semester. But I think it's a huge team when I talk of the management, the deans, the faculty members who are always there to support. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Any other question, Indu, you see in the chat box?
Chat,
Or shall we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you so much, Payal. I'm sure your experience is again reinforcing in our mind as coaches that how coaching can shift culture in any organization. I'm sure about that. So thank you very much for taking time out, and we really appreciate on behalf of our chapter and South Africa chapter. Thank you so much.
I am
Seema,
indeed grateful
for joining. Thank you.
Yeah, Seema, we have Shweta.
Yeah, go ahead.
Raise your hand for the question. Please, Shweta, your question.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually didn't raise my hand for a question, just adding this has been, the Shurini project has been something we are very proud of. So just adding here, this started as an Ignite project, as an ICF Foundation project, which was supported, started as an ICF partner, and ICF coaches from across the world volunteered to offer pro bono coaching to Shurini University for this whole project that Payal is talking about. So again, it was a coming together of the global power of coaches to contribute to this, and really our compliments to Payal and to Atul Khosla, whose vision really started this process, that they imagined this and they brought together coaches from all over the world for this beautiful project.
Yes, thank you, Shweta. Thank you for the mention. So after we had launched phase 1, that is after the successful, culmination of pilot phase, is when we were approached by Ignite, and it was amazing. I would love to share that story someday, having worked with Shruti and one more ICFF representative in India. But yes, it's been a collective effort, no doubt about that. Thank you, Shweta.
So in paucity of time, we'll encourage one more question from Radhakanji, and then we'll head on to our event. Radhakanji, over to you, please.
Yeah, it is not a question. It is a request from Payal to basically become ambassador for our ICF to basically promote such initiative all around our pan India.
Yes.
So not limited to any one university, but you become an ambassador for this particular initiative. So all the coaches, all the fraternity will be so elated, so excited to basically contribute towards this. So I'm maybe Shweta and Amit Kumar and everybody in this room who are from Delhi chapter and other chapters, they will support me on this, that you become an ambassador and make it happen that every coaches get connected to somewhere or another for such kind of initiative. Not only this university, but all other university around the India. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for your kind words. Thank you. And yes, we at the university, including, because when I speak on behalf of the management as well, apart from my capacity as a coach, right? It is a wish and a desire to take this beyond the university's boundaries and to offer this coaching intervention at pro bono basis to more institutions, help them craft a model, and then they can decide how they want to take it forward. But yes, that's the purpose, because it's not just about Shulini. So I would be more than happy to support anyone to take it forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all this. Now let's break for a quick, let's have little action here. May I request all of you to switch on your cameras so we can click a commemorative group photograph before we move on to the event.
So everybody put the Cherish smile on their faces.
Are we done with the picture, Rajneesh?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was the photographer. Can I request everybody to go in a freeze mode and it will just take a few more seconds? My apologies. Give me a minute more. I don't want to miss those who are making hearts. Imani, I can see that. Thank you. One more before we say thank you so much, everyone. And my apologies again for
No
making.
apologies, because what you
No.
have done basically accidentally, everybody was cherishing for that very moment. So new neural path has basically created for the cherishing the moment. Okay. So great work,
Absolutely.
Rajneesh ji.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. And now is the time to move to our event, Route to Crown Coaching. We loved curating this for you, and I'm sure by end of the session you will also love it. Let's talk about love, as Shweta talked about love, and I think we are all there with the emojis, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Just allow me a second. And do let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. After setting the context for the evening, now let's be ready for an immersive session on Route to Crown Coaching. As we know, yoga is an integral part of our Indian civilization. The applications and benefits of yogic practices have spanned eras and cultures across India and the world. They stay relevant for the humankind even today and will continue to do so till eternity. In this session, you'll be experiencing the power of yogic techniques and their application. We will mainly be focusing on a technique of dhyana or reflection. Through this, we will be celebrating, cherishing, and elevating each other. So stay there till the end. Besides our today's learning and practice, we will also learn CCUs and RDs, provided we stay till the end. Please don't forget to make notes on how you're feeling and learning throughout the session. We'll be chatting with you, interacting with you, and checking on each other's how they are feeling. So just be very, very participative. Now, to kickstart the session, I would like to invite Ms. Sangeeta Das Gupta who's Director Peer Coaching and Mentoring with the Delhi ICF Charter Chapter, NCR Charter Chapter. Her presence is significant for our session as she is a subject matter expert on yoga and chakras. Sangeeta is PCC ICF and brings with her an experience of being a therapist and meditation teacher. So, who better than her to set the context for today's topic? Over to you, Sangeeta.
Thank you very much, Seema, and namaste. The highest in me bows to the highest in all of you. And this evening brings us so much of energy and joy together. So I want to ask a question to everyone. Are you all awake and ready? And you can definitely show a thumbs up. Are you all awake and ready? I am. Thank you very, very much. Because we are going to talk about energy centers. When we talk about the word yoga, as our dear Amit Kumarji has very beautifully set the context by saying that yoga is the union of mind and body. I say yoga is an alignment of mind, body, and spirit. And that alignment, when we see as coaches, on our spine, on our presence, on our energy centers, we call them as chakras. So chakras are the energy vortices. Now, when we talk about cherish, cherish is about embrace, elevate, and celebrate. So be with these three words. And thank you, Shweta. You had also put a lot of words when we began the session. So all those words will definitely come in handy when we talk about reflection. To set the context, I am no expert, although I have been working with yoga and chakras for almost 35 years of my life, and hence would set the context by talking about Ashtanga yoga, or the eightfold path of yoga. When we talk about these eightfold path of yoga, we are now amalgamating it with the core competencies of our coaches, which means that when we talk about yama, it's about inclusive ethics. Very, very beautiful word you gave, Shweta, because yama is the do. So what is important for a coach? It's about ethics. My value has always been integrity, and being in complete integrity on the who I am, which is the central theme of Cherish, to moving on to next, which is niyama. And when we talk about niyama, it is the trust and safety that every coach aligns with yoga, the mind, body, and spirit with the coachee. Then we move on to asana, and asana is the posture. So, as a person, you may be a coach, you may not be a coach. Asana may not be that complicated yogic practice that you may or may not be doing. But this moment, just check. It's 7:24. How are you sitting? Is your spine straight? Are your shoulders relaxed? You have a smile on your face? If yes, you are doing good with the posture and your asana is great. Moving on to pranayam. And pranayam is when we connect our breath and connect that breath with the body. So we as coaches always align the coaching presence and facilitate growth with the breathing context, the somatic movement of the body of the client. Then we move on to pratyahar. I love this word pratyahar because it means interiorization. And a coach has to interiorize the mind, complete presence in that moment, aligning your energy with the coaching that you're going to do in the next 45 minutes. Moving on to dharana, which is the contemplation. And what are we contemplating on? On the inner awareness, the inner light, the inner sound, the inner feeling. And then comes the harmony and strength, on the alignment of those energy centers, which we call as chakras, to reach our highest potential. That's when we move on to reflection, and that's dhyana. Dhyana is absorption of all the senses bringing together. And by prolonged concentration on any stage of consciousness, begins with assuming that you're fully present in your inner self. And the final stage is samadhi, but we today are going to stay in dhyana, stay in reflection. So I urge every one of you to have a paper and a pen today while you go through this beautiful session taken by Seema Bangia and Payal Malhotra. To introduce our two very, very uplifted coach souls, let me talk about this beautiful smiling coach. Her name is Payal Malhotra. She's an ICF PCC with almost 8 years of experience, an NLP practitioner, a very seasoned professional who works with diverse workforce. And just her presence will uplift all your energies from the root to the crown. Looking on to Seema Bangia, she is a presence fully in the Buddha energies. When I say Buddha energies, I mean total grounded energy with almost 3 decades of experience. She is an ICF ACC and has a deep HR experience in capability building, culture and organization development in diverse sectors. So today, both of them are going to align your energy and will elevate your consciousness. To you, beautiful ladies, go on.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. You really made our day, especially mine. Thank you. All right, so let's move on with the same energy, keeping our spirits high. Now, when we hear, I think let's take a pause before I go more into it. Let's be grounded and just follow my voice. You have a choice to either close your eyes or keep your eyes open, but just follow my voice. Let's do some grounding exercise. So I'm closing my eyes because I feel more grounded that way. We are going to do deep inhaling and deep exhaling. So we do deep inhaling, pause for a few seconds, and do deep exhaling. Let's do this for a few minutes, or rather few seconds, not minutes. You may like to open your eyes when feel comfortable. Let's use the chat box and tell me how do you feel after this very, very short, small exercise. Relaxed, peaceful, calm, absolutely joyful. Yes, keeping feet fully on the floor and without shoes or slippers touching the ground. Absolutely, that does the wonder, the magic. Quieter, more present, focused. So why we did this? We did this even as a coach. I mean, I practiced this before going into any kind of conversation, discussion, dialogue whether it's coaching or if it's reflecting, or even our day-to-day at workplace with family. Just do little bit of grounding on and off during the day, and you'll see your energy uplifting, you know. So if you walk into a meeting and you had so much going on in back of your mind, if you go with that, I don't think you're going to have a very fruitful meeting. But if you do this little small exercise, empowering you to be centered and have a dialogue after that, and then it does wonders. So apply it and see how it will help most of you. Now let's move ahead, and I'm going to ask you another question. Uh, Again, please use your chat box. Tell me, when you hear a word yoga or when you see any yoga posture, what comes to your mind? Absolutely. Harmony, focus, attention. Yoga is equal to union, peace, inner voice, self-awareness, harmony of mind, body, soul, caring for body and mind. Absolutely. So when we know about this, I'm not sure how many of us practice it. If not on daily basis, at least occasionally, once in a while, maybe once a week, maybe over the weekend. So the quantity doesn't matter, the quality matters. Even if you do once a week, twice a week, of course, you'll feel more centered and grounded. So taking a cue from all your reactions coming to me or feedback coming to me, definitely it is about inner awareness. You're aware about yourself, about your emotions. It's more like a concept I learned in my corporate world, something called balcony and dance concept. So when you're mindful, you are present at both places. That when you're in a discussion, what kind of body language, what kind of choice of words you're using, and then you're also seeing the impact it's making on the team. So more about mindfulness, more about balcony dance, more about inner awareness it brings in. Then we talk about flexibility. Of course, I started doing my yoga practice long back when I was in my teens. And at one point of time, I thought, I can't do headstand or I can't do Tadasana, the tree pose. But then over a period of time, through practice, I could see my body opening up, flexibility, not only physically, but also in my thinking that I can't do it. But then later I said, oh, yes, I can do it. So this helps you even unlocking your own potential, whether you're a coach or you're not a coach or you're a client or whosoever. So this benefits each and everybody. So we talked about mindfulness, flexibility, and let's see next, balance. So some of you have already answered. Balance, union, oneness, and alignment. Of course, we'll deep dive into each chakra and we'll see how balance helps us when we are, in our zen, in our calm posture, or in a state. Then while we are all this, mindful, flexible, open to ideas, balanced, of course, we are building our inner strength. So we become more resilient. So we become less disturbed or less, I think disturbed is the right word, with our external environment. Whatever the external environment be, we are in our control. We are balanced. Now, looking at all these statements, do you agree with me that we get this through yoga? Thank you, Celia. You say yes. Thank you, Indu. Thank you, Renu. Thank you, Neha. So I see everybody agreeing to this. Great. We are all on the same page. And now it's a time to understand the chakras we've been talking about. Sangeeta has already set the context for the chakra, root to crowning. So let's dive deep into it. And here I would like to invite my co-facilitator, Payal, to take over from here. Over to you, Payal.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Seema. Namaskar, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. I'm so happy to see the responses coming in and the interest for yoga for all. So today we'll talk about chakras. But before we start talking, I remember Seema and Sangeeta mentioning about writing down. I would again request you to write down the points that come in your mind while we're looking at chakras and see where we stand. Are we great at it or we want to work more on it? And that will happen only when we pen down certain points, right? So good to go. Let's start with the first chakra. The first chakra is called root chakra, and root chakra is found at the base of our spine. Now we are starting from the root and then we'll go to the crown, right? So when starting from the root, we have root chakra. That is the main fundamental foundation and anchor that we have. And we have color red associated with it. Any idea why red and what does red signify to you? Mm-hmm. Yes, energy. Anything else that comes in your mind? Fire, danger, groundness, strength. Fantastic. So red here, we're talking about strength. We're talking about passion and we're talking about energy. So the theme for the chakra is foundation, safety, and stability. So, and the element that is attached to this chakra is earth. Earth means we are grounded. When we are grounded is when we feel safe. So if I ask you, like Seema just did a little exercise with you, if I just ask you to close your eyes for just 2 minutes and put your feet on the floor, on the ground, and imagine the roots coming out of your feet and getting anchored on the ground. So I'll repeat. You close your eyes, put your feet on the ground, imagine the roots are coming out from your feet and anchoring them to the earth. How do you feel? What is one word that comes in your mind? Stability. Thank you, Jyoti. What else is coming in your mind? Calm, stable, foundation. Wow, fantastic. So this is something that you just felt, is it? So when we're looking at a theme here, we're looking at foundation, safety, and stability. Now, what happens often is we're looking at stability, but we have yet not found what is the foundation for us. Connectedness. Thank you, Kenneth. Deep. Fantastic. Thank you. So again, coming back to foundation is very important, but what we look for, what we seek for is stability. Not understanding that if we go on the reverse role, stability, safety, and foundation may not work. But for us, when we have a foundation strong, we surely have safety and surely we get into stability. Right? So there's a question on your screen. I'll allow you 30 seconds to look at it and answer in the chat box. What concrete steps can you take to feel more grounded and secure in your life? This will connect you to yourself. Insurance, anchor. Let go. Fantastic. Focus. Act with humility and value others. Fabulous. Taking pause. Self-analysis. Really powerful, Sanjeev. The next, stay connected with myself and others in harmony. Thank you, Celia. That's again very powerful. The second question on his screen is, how will you implement routines or habits that reinforce stability? giving more time to relationships. How will you implement routine or habits that reinforce stability? Stability to each of us is different, so you may just go with whatever you think is right. Deliberate, meditation, lovely. Discipline, consistent. Wow, keep going, great. Mindfulness, lovely. Last question is, how will you measure your progress in creating more security and balance? That's a typical question we ask, don't we? How do we measure our progress? So what is your take on that? How do you think you will measure your progress in creating more security and balance? Self-concept, very good. Interesting. Gratitude, check-in with self, feeling of calmness. Fantastic. So the purpose, I monitor my body to measure. Fantastic. More control of emotions. Lovely. So the purpose here is of this chakra is safety and stability. And like I said, ruby red and element is earth. But before going forward, what is it that comes in your mind while we are going for coaching? What are the 2, 3 things that we can pick up from here as a coaching tool for us? Or what can we focus on more? Like we mentioned about grounding exercises often we do in the early time when we start a session, but not necessary. Grounding has no rule. It can happen at any time. But we often forget. We think it's morning or it's the early morning or it's the beginning of a session. So it depends on you. The other thing that comes is self-awareness, overcoming fear, and definitely while we are looking at decision making and strategy thinking and career transition, to name few, here are the areas where this chakra really comes handy. So have a look at this chakra, feel where you are, score yourself here so that we can move on to the next chakra. Next chakra is sacral chakra. And this is a chakra which has orange color attached to it. So orange is a color of warmth, energy, and creativeness. This chakra is found in the center of our abdomen. So a lot of times that we feel that little something happening there. So you know which chakra it is and which posture we are going to look at later to solve this. So the theme of this chakra is emotions, creativity, pleasure, and flow. And the element attached to it is water. What is one thing that comes in your mind when I say element, water, and emotions? How do you think you connect that? Depth, flow, flow, cool. Okay, so lot of flows here. So let's go with the flow. When we're talking about water, if it's flowing in the direction, in the way it's flowing flawlessly, it's beautiful, it's natural. And so are our emotions when they're flowing. When the water gets stagnant, it starts to stink. And so do our emotions. When we suppress them, we get upset, we get frustrated, don't we? But if the water is too much in flow, it can cause floods. And so is it if our emotions are too high, we can be very impulsive. That is a relation of water here with sacral chakra. Now, looking at the questions on your screen, first one coming up, how can you bring more joy and creativity into your daily life? Let go. Right now, pausing. Fantastic. Celebrate yourself. New learnings. Acceptance. Being in present. Impromptu, so many things come in our mind. But when we really need to do action, how often do we do that? Do what you enjoy most. Great. The next question is, how will you nurture your passions and allow yourself to experience pleasure without guilt? There are these spaces where I belong. How else will you nurture your passion? Okay, the next question comes up is, what support do you need to help you stay committed to emotional balance? Being non-judgmental. What else? Okay, now coming back to how we can, what kind of coaching can we do here? Water allows us to be very flexible. Water also allows us, self-love, self-awareness, self-regulation. Great. What are the other things that we can have as a coaching style for our clients and for ourselves? Except flexibility, what else do you think this chakra can give us as a coaching aspect, from a coaching aspect, apart from adaptability and flexibility? Anything else that comes in your mind? Partnership, fantastic. Probably innovative mindset, which also facilitates growth. So we can look into that as well. So these are the things, again, where you are bonding, learning, fantastic. And we also have managing interpersonal skills and problem solving. That is what most of our clients come up with. And very essential for us to know where they are and where we are in terms of this chakra. Right? Now we come to the other chakra, the third one. Solar plexus. This is a chakra which is found 4 inches below our navel. And this is a power center which governs confidence, self-worth, and motivation. And it is attached with the color yellow. Yellow color, when we think about yellow color, what is it that comes in your mind? Brightness, sun, life, yes, joy, that's it. Positiveness, yes, self-belief, positiveness, all these things, yeah, energy, definitely. So these are and now we're looking at the element with the solar plexus. The element here is fire. When we look at fire, what is one thing that comes in your mind? Fire burns our self-doubts. Fire is transformational. It gets up from our comfort zone, right? So the question coming up for you is, what specific action will help you step into your personal power? Mission. That's nice. The other questions are, doing what lifts you up, boldness. How can you challenge limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones? Celebrate and enjoying. How will you hold yourself accountable for building and maintaining self-confidence? Very important. Reframing. Thank you, fantastic. Thanks. Reframing is so important. We'll talk about reframing in the coming chakras. What else? All right. Aligned to the purpose. Now, when you're looking at a purpose here, so wisdom, controlling, color yellow, and fire, and we are looking at a goal, self-confidence, resilience, motivation, and drive. And with this, when the coaching aspects comes up, we have assertiveness, we have executive presence, we have handling constructive feedback, resilience, fighting fear without the fear of failure. Very, very essential for all of us. Now we come to the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. And we all know where the heart is, right? So there is no need for that. And it's a green color. So I'm wearing green. It doesn't look like green though, but yeah, it's very close to me. So that comes with harmony, healing, and emotional balance. And the theme of this chakra is love, compassion, connection, and forgiveness. And the element attached to it is air. When we talk about air, we talk about free flow, we talk about openness, freedom, give and receive effortlessly, don't we? So this is heart is a chakra which is close to all of us, and we all believe to build relationships if we have a bonding. If we have passion for bonding, building up relationships when it comes to our relationships with our team, especially when we do our group coaching, team coaching, love is something that we cannot ignore. Heart is something we cannot ignore. So looking at a theme of love, compassion, connection, and forgiveness is associated with chakra. The first question for you is, how can you show up more authentically in your relationships? Work, social, home, acceptance of who they are, self-trust, love the other person. Next question for you is, what small act of kindness or forgiveness can you take today to open your heart? The last one is, how will you nurture a sense of compassion and gratitude in your life? Yes, very powerful. Forgive yourself. Don't hold grudges. Forgiving yourself is the best thing that you can do. And also forgiving others is what best you can do. Correct? Now, when we come to having coaching here, we look at more of a work culture, like I said, team coaching, leadership coaching, relationship management. These are the things that we do when we're doing coaching focus. And our goal is empathy and compassion, strong connections, relationships, tolerance, and forgiveness. Thank you. From here, I'll invite Seema to take over the other chakras.
Seema, you're on mute. Unmute yourself.
I'm so sorry. Thank you. So thank you so much, Payal. We so far talked about 4 chakras, starting from root till heart. So we talked about stability, creativity, confidence, and then we talked about compassion and loving and gratitude and all. Now let's move to the another important chakra, which is uh, throat chakra. And as we know where it is located right here, middle of your throat. And it is called Vishuddha chakra. The communication chakra, basically it is known as, is associated with the color blue and with the space element. The theme is expression, authenticity, and of course, honest communication. This beautiful chakra is all about communication and speaking your truth. It helps you words to flow so that speaking is easy and comfortable. This chakra is also about listening, which is equally important. So, how do you know if your throat chakra is balanced or imbalanced? Imbalanced throat chakra can be identified when we have difficulty communicating and expressing ourselves. We might have a hard time speaking to other people. We might shut down and turn to silence and avoidance during conflicting situations. We might have extreme anxiety about being in social situations where we have to walk. So when we talk about throat chakra, is about communication. Now, my question to you is, how can you practice clear and courageous communication? Quick one, if you could just respond to that. Yes, Rajan, Vishuddhi chakra. Vishuddha with Shuddhi. That's right. Be frank and authentic. Absolutely. No ego. That goes without saying. While you're answering, I'm also asking you next question. Courage, yes. What actions can you take to ensure you are being heard and understood? Respectful while being honest. Absolutely. We talk about boundaries. Drawing those boundaries also helps here to be clear in our communication. And then how will you integrate honesty and authenticity into your daily interactions? I think this is again very important one. And somebody says, listen to the other person first. Yes. Request everyone to dive deeper and wear your thinking hats to answer these questions. Yes, absolutely. Please do that because this is a very, very critical session, what we are doing here. Listen to inner voice. Absolutely. So let's sum up this chakra looking at my watch. So We can talk about this maybe offline later and read about it more, practice more. So the purpose of this chakra is communication, color is fire blue, element is ether or space, and it is connected with articulating expression, assertiveness, and kindness. Let's move to the next chakra, which is our third eye chakra, Ajna chakra, we call it. And the theme associated with is inner wisdom, intuition, clarity, purpose. So purpose is very important. Even in the corporate world, we say we don't see vision these days being on the top. We look at the purpose of the organization, the purpose of the individual, the purpose of any communication. So purpose is very, very critical for everybody. So this chakra controls and energizes the brain, endocrine glands, and pituitary glands. Located in the ear, in the area between your eyebrows right here, it's where our intuition, gut feelings, and inner wisdom reside, guiding us through life with insight that transcends logic. So logical thinking, insight. The third eye chakra helps us make sense of the world by connecting the dots between what we see externally and what we understand internally. And the qualities of this chakra are intuition, insight, color is indigo, and element is light, ether and light. And the questions that are associated with this chakra are, what steps can you take to strengthen trust in your intuition? How will you integrate your insights into actionable changes? How will you recognize and celebrate the wisdom you gain through self-reflection? So I talked about that balcony dance. That was more of self-reflection for me when I did it. And then when you are more mindful of everything what you do, I think that self-reflection, self-actualization starts happening, and that makes you become a better human being. The purpose, intuition, insight, indigo is the color, and element is the space, the light. Wisdom, intuition, leadership, and decision-making and humility. Anything you want to add on to this chakra? If I missed out anybody on the chat box? Yes, maintain an intuition journal and look back from time to time. Absolutely. Through gratitude and cherishing self. That's right, Bhavna. All right, now moving to the last but not the least, very important chakra. That's the chakra, the crown chakra, which is right here, top of our head. And as you can see in the picture, the color is beautiful violet color. And this chakra is known as Sahasrara chakra. This is a Sanskrit word, which means thousands in Sanskrit. And it gets its name from the lotus flower with 1,000 petals. Each petal represents a different aspect of our being, such as emotions, thoughts, actions, whatever we do. The complete opening of all the petals, as you could see in the picture, causes a universal balance of the body, mind, and spirit. That's what we were practicing through that little meditative exercise or breathing exercise. Qualities of this chakra are the energy center controls our connection and our sense of universal consciousness, wisdom, unity, and self-knowledge. As I said, the color is violet and element is thought. So I'm putting up all the questions in one go. It says, what daily practices can help you stay connected to your higher self? I think we all know the answer, and we did practice in the beginning. What is one commitment you can make? One commitment you can make to deepen your sense of meaning and purpose. I think before you answer, my answer would be connecting, inner looking, inward looking, finding answers from inner self rather than from the external world. How will you sustain and grow your inner awareness over a period of time? So these are the questions related with this chakra. They help us in our coaching. And of course, through this chakra, we can do self-transformation. The theme word other than above is community. If you look at in a larger good, it is going to impact community, generosity, abundance, manifestation, unlocking potential towards a higher purpose. So I hope you are with us on these 7 chakras. With this, I end the chakra um, presentation, and I invite again Sangeeta, our subject matter expert, to talk about it. But before she takes on, I just want to re-emphasize that what kind of coaching competencies these chakra alignment helps us. It's in our growth, action, transformation. Of course, when we are aware, we are in the coaching mindset. We are facilitating client growth by this awareness and this knowledge. And also, we are maintaining our presence. So over to you, Sangeeta, for the next slide.
Thank you, Seema. So how are you all doing? Are you all awake and ready? If you're all awake, just look at what you're wearing. What color dress are you wearing? And which chakra does your dress align to? Now, this is something which is outside. Dive deep inside, and where are you vibrating in this present moment? Are you vibrating at the root, or are you vibrating at your heart? Take a moment and write the first word that comes to your mind after the sentence, I am. Just 30 seconds for that. Everyone. And I am is the me inside, which basically wants to embrace. So the tagline embrace is when we open our heart centers, elevate. So we all as coaches or as humans, as people that we are elevating our consciousness from the root that is being stable on the earth to the crown. So from the root, I am safe. I am grounded. Sacral is I am creative. So creation is the most important aspect of beingness of a coach. Moving up the navel is that I am powerful. Heart is I am love. Throat is I am expressive. Third is I am connected to I am being wise. And the crown is the ultimate wherein I say I am the being. And so when you know where you are vibrating at, that's the time that you move forward. And also with this knowingness, see what chakra do you need to work upon more. And when you get this answer, Payal is going to take you through how will you work on that chakra. Yes, Payal, over to you.
Thank you. Now that you've sat for a longer time, and so let's have some body movements sitting there. Let's just do certain body movements, whichever you can do comfortably. So we'll go with the
You
first
can get
chakra.
up also. You can
Yeah,
all get up also, any of you want to.
whatever suits you all. I mean, it's all open to you, right? The first is root chakra, squatting. The root chakra we spoke about is more of stability, right? So this squatting triggers the stability aspect. So this is the first chakra. If you can get up, otherwise, fair enough. There are others you can do while sitting. So we'll go to the next one. Sacral chakra. This is hip rotation. Radha Kanji is trying. Yeah? Are you trying while sitting down? Okay. All right. So this is hip rotation, and this is more for creativity. Wendy, I like that. There's a movement with lovely. Third one is solar plexus, forward and backward bend. This is more for confidence. I see a lot of us moving, even I'm moving. So next is heart chakra, which is shoulder rotation. That is more for empathy and passion to be with your loved ones. Lovely. Next is throat chakra. That is neck rotation. That is more for communication.
We as coaches need to do more of
Lovely.
this.
Lovely. Yes, yes, absolutely. And whenever this doesn't require any attire, that doesn't require standing up anytime that you feel, but yes, one must do that. Third and the last and the most important is not the last but yes, the third chakra is eyeball rotation. That is so beautifully done. I think that we all do anyways. If you can do eyeball rotation right now, you can take out your specs and do for a better routine. Yeah, there Indu comes. Yeah. The last one is Taratak. Now, what is Taratak? Taratak, no, I'm still there. Seema?
Ratak.
Taratak. Taratak is when you put a candle or diya equatable to your eye level. When you look at that flame without blinking, your eyes will blink on their own. Now, once they blink, please close your eyes and imagine the flame is at the center of your forehead. And this awakens your intuition and insight. This is most beautiful one. And the last one is one of my favorites, tree pose affirmation crown chakra, which says, I'm calm and I'm poised. And how does that make you feel when you do these affirmations? What is the first thing that comes in your mind when you say this?
Balance.
Yes, balance. And how many times do we say this? We do tell our clients, but how many times do we do that? That's the question I'm leaving you with. That's something that you can relate to yourself post the event. And thank you very much. And I hope that you have listed down the chakras where you would want to work on and where your strength is. Where do you think you want to vibrate at? Over to you, Seema.
Thank you very much, Sangeeta and Payal. I think we are all charged up and we want to practice this, discuss this little bit more, though we have little time with us, but we don't mind breaking out for, say, about 10 minutes. So I request Rajneesh ji or the backend team to help us with that. Now our journey begins. Let's talk. What we learned, no, it's not 40 minutes, it's 10 minutes now. Which chakra are you vibrating at? And what is it that you want to, take away as one or two key takeaways? Let's discuss that in the breakout session. After that, let's reassemble for the next announcement. Thank you.
So we'll have a 5-minute breakout. 5 minute in two of two. So we have 39.
So how many breakout rooms do you want?
We can do, say, about 20 quickly.
10 to 12?
Or maybe 10 to 12, 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, quickly, if we can, please.
Okay, so I'm making 15 breakout rooms and we can straight away create them.
Absolutely. Yes.
There are 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana.
4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny, Himani, Prasad, Anjana. 4, 5 of them who haven't gone. Sunny
I was in room 7, but nobody came. I
Oh,
was alone.
okay.
So, Sunny, I'll assign you to a room. See
I
if I
can go with them. Himani also can join.
After the rooms have been assigned, there's a lot of dropouts right now because I was seeing a lot number of people in the room, assigned rooms, but then now the
Oh,
numbers have come to
Himani has
zero.
to be. Yeah, understood. And I think uh, oh,
I got thrown out of my meeting room.
you're thrown out of the room. How?
I had
Which
no
room were
clue.
you in? Which room were you?
I was in SEMA.
Which one? 7.
It's SEMA. Yeah.
With 7, room number 7.
With SEMA in 7 because we were just talking and then poof.
Oh,
Okay, 7 doesn't have anybody, so I'm sending you to
Yeah,
room 5.
I was in 7.
okay.
She is again all by herself in 5. We'll have to move her
Seema.
to the lady from Kenya. Let
She's
me
there
move.
with somebody or no?
Yeah, I've now moved her to room 4.
Okay.
By 8:15, we'll bring them back. So 8:14, if you close the breakout rooms, 1 minute will be there.
Okay.
Bhavna, I have created 2 images, one for tomorrow's entire event and one for the culmination. I'll put it in the chat box. I am not putting it as a message, but that PDF file of tomorrow's event alone and the other one.
Thank you. New Jersey is ready for the event, so they're already logging in.
Yeah.
Shall I close the rooms, Indu?
Please.
8:14.
Yeah, because it will take a minute for them to come back.
Yeah. Challenge is that when you announce breakout rooms, people drop out.
Yes,
And
that happened.
someone like me is left wondering that should I have reduced the number of rooms? Because when we announced there were about 37 people, I made 15 rooms. Ideally, we should make 8 or 9 rooms only.
Not even that
Anyway,
much. It thinks like 4 or 5 only right now.
Yeah. Anyway, let's hear what they have to share.
I'll log out and join the next.
Everybody is coming back now.
Is Seema back?
Yes, I'm back. Yes, I was speaking and then it just took me back.
You want to complete what you were sharing, Seema?
Yeah, I was just telling you that even if you're not able to do it every day, do it once a week or at least over the weekend. Do breathing exercises. Even when you go for a coaching session, do that. Be grounded, be present, not only for your client, even for yourself. And also, through this, we'll get to know where our client is, as far as chakras are concerned, where the other person is vibrating. Yeah, so we'll be mindful of that. That's what I was saying. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, the beauty of the session was when you leave and there are so many thoughts. And I was with Celine, I think, and the kind of thoughts that she shared, they're so beautiful because we are still in that zone. And whoever knows yoga and who wants to get into chakras and who understands a bit of chakras, this is the most beautiful thing that could have happened. It was a
Absolutely.
beautiful conversation I had.
So
The
we are
men
back
were
now. Yeah.
asking that would they get the slides because they want to do those chakra exercises. So definitely we will make available. But before that, Seema will give you to fill the form.
Absolutely. We need to fill up the form. It's all there in the chat box, and you can apply for your CCUs, RDs through that form. That's one. And I would like to again click our group picture before we leave the session. Can we do that?
Sangeeta, can you do this? I have run out of my cell phone battery now.
Yes, definitely. I'll be clicking it from the laptop itself. So I will request everyone to show your beautiful smile, opening up your heart chakras, as Shweta says, opening up your heart with love. And yeah, you can actually do all whatever makes you feel happy, loved. Here you go. Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. Let me take for the second page as well.
Veena says, can you share the form again? So Indu, could you please do the honors? Here.
Yeah, we are done with the picture. That's
Thank
so
you.
wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So
Now,
we
the quick reminder for the next session coming up by New Jersey. Please do log in. If you haven't registered, register, do attend, make this festival a big success. Thank you very much. And I would like to also thank team behind the scenes, Rajneesh, Hindu, Sangeeta, and anyone I missed out. I'm sorry. Bhavna, we talked about you. Gitanjali, Kavitaji, everybody. Thank you so much. And thank you, Payal, for being my co-facilitator. Thank you.
thank you
Namaskar.
for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So we will share the link with people who have not been able to access the Google form and via email, as I think there are some accessibility issues. And on the chat box, yes, I have shared the next day event, tomorrow's event links also for you too. So great. Looking forward to connect with you on the next event. Happy to have you all people. Thank you so much for joining Delhi NCR's event. Thank you. Take care and have a great day.
Awaiting.
Just a
New
moment.
Jersey
For
is
people who are
awaiting.
struggling with the form, if I may offer a tip, it needs for you to be logged into a Google account. If you're logged into your Google account, you'll be able to access the form.
Yeah.
And thank you, Shweta, for being there, supporting us till the end. That's very motivating.
Thank you very much.
Great learning experience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Great show.